Yo, it's your boy Rush. I'm in the building promoting my side hustle, Rush Enterprise. If you're in the state of New Jersey, you need armed guards or unarmed guards, just call me on my business line, which my number is on the banner, and also my Instagram. Today I got a special guest. We got our full notice podcast in the building, and I'm gonna let him introduce himself so he let you guys know what he about. You're
Thank you, my brother. Peace, everyone. My name is Ra Amari, host of the Full Notice Podcast. I'm here with my team, and we're here to make it happen, man. Thank you so much for the invitation. I really appreciate it.
man, I'm glad that you was able to make it, you know what I mean, and support your brother over here, man. Um, my first question for you is, yo, I know I'm going for the gusto right now, man, but what's your thoughts on the red pill community and MGTOW movement?
That's a great question, man. Right off the bat, getting it in. Honestly, I think it's a necessity. I think it's one of those things where it is allowing us as men to see the other side of women nature. Female nature. We have unfortunately allowed for a lot of nonsense to go on, in my opinion. And I think that the MGTOW, just the red pill community in general, they're making attempts. Not all of these guys are doing the right thing or saying the right things, but we're heading towards a direction where we want men to be masculine, and I think that that's kind of like the main purpose of the community. So I support the community. I think it's cool. I support the Fresh and Fit podcast. I think is doing an incredible job, really bringing light to female nature, and and there's many other men, guys on Instagram that don't really have that don't have podcasts or anything like that are also bringing a lot of awareness. So you know, personally, I think that it's a net positive. What are your thoughts on the red pill community?
Oh man, my thoughts on the red pill community, I think it's definitely something that's needed. A lot of young males are not aware of the I guess schemes on dealing with the I guess the dark side of female nature. There's a lot of manipulation that goes on in the game, and people like you, Fresh and Fit, AMS, you guys keep these guys aware of the possibility of getting played like a fiddle. You know what I mean? Because
Absolutely.
a lot of these. My bad. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No. I absolutely agree with what you're saying. It's sad to see that the state of women, it's they're at a fallen state, in my opinion. They don't have much guidance. So when we have men who can see the problems within themselves, men who are allowing women to walk all over them, men who are allowing women nature to kind of overrule the societal norms. I think I was having the conversation today with a cousin of mine, and we were speaking about men having to pay for box essentially, and it's like you know now you're in the United States where women do not respect you. They don't care about showing you any loyalty. They don't care about being mothers. They're not studying to be mothers. They're studying to be accountants, and they're working. They go to the gym and working on their body. Everything is external, nothing internal. They're not really going to churches. They're not really doing any spiritual work until later in life. So when they're used and abused. So I was having the conversation, and it came up where I basically told him, if I were to engage in any form of giving money to women, why would I do it to a woman in America that's not going to appreciate, not going to value, not going to understand the struggle that we're both in as a people? And why wouldn't I just go and take my money elsewhere to another country where I can actually be actual support system to a woman who's going to appreciate, who's going to care, who's going to value, who's going to be a nurturer, who's inculcated with the culture of, our forefathers. So yeah, that's basically my take on women. Basically, I like, I'm not black pill, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm hopeful that our women are going to change. However, I'm not Captain Save a Ho, and I pretty much just let the chips fall where they may with regards to the women.
Man, I totally agree with you on that, man. Like, uh, because a large proportion of us in the states have divested from religion, we kind of lost our moral compass, man. We kind of like do whatever we want to do. The first thing in a relationship was, well, both male and female, if they're not stimulated, their thought process is to move on to a better option that reciprocate on whatever whatever they want from that individual, you know what I mean? Which is not
Mm-hmm,
cool, like a lot of people, man, they forget, marriage is duty, man. You know what I mean? It's not just, feeling good and looking great, man. There's gonna be tough times, man, and when the boat is rocked, you know what I mean? You want somebody to be by your side to, to be rock steady with you, man. You know what I mean? And a lot of these
absolutely.
chicks, man, word up, a lot of these chicks nowadays, man, they're not built like, I'm quite sure you come from a nuclear family. You know what I mean? They're not built like how our parents came up, man. It's a different ball game, man. It's cold out here, man. You know what I mean?
Super, super cold, brother.
Savage.
Listen, I just came back from the Dominican Republic. I frequent there. I have property there. Me and my producer, we went out there to just kind of, go reflect, make some content that we're gonna be putting out. Some ideas, things, just working, building, trying to create new paths for us in our endeavors. And it's interesting how being in a place in another country and seeing the femininity in women, seeing the traditional values in women. I've gone to Colombia, I've visited, Europe, Switzerland, one of the most beautiful places in the world. And when you go to these areas and you communicate with the women there, they're completely different. And one, for example, in the Dominican Republic, prostitution is legal, right? So, what I think that does to women in society, one, not only are the Dominican women beautiful women, they're curvy, this, that, and the third, but the prostitution aspect of it makes it so that women understand, oh, if you're not going to serve your man or service your man in a specific way, then what men tend to do is legally go and sleep with whatever other woman that is just as beautiful, if not more beautiful. So what women tend to do is they tend to be more aware of that situation. They're more aware and accepting of the nature of men because men are just more masculine, more willing to, oh, you don't want to give me what I need as a man, then I'm just going to go ahead and move on. And in my journey to find a wife, I'm not sexually going to be manipulated by you withholding sex. I'm going to just go out, whatever, spend whatever money to legally have sex. So men aren't as thirsty for women. So that causes women to actually desire men. Where out here, what I see is women withhold sex from the majority of men. And because of that, men become desperate and then they're just buying OnlyFans just to get a chance, just so that they can, our innate desire to procreate, just so that we can procreate, have sex with a woman, they'll just go out and subscribe to an OnlyFans or watch porn or really become simps, submit to women. And it's there's a lot of different societal factors, but for the most part, that's kind of like what I've been able to see in women nature, and it's disgusting.
Man, you said a key word, man. A lot of these simps are submissive towards these women out here, man. and it's just crazy to me. Like, they're scared to say no, just cause they have this scary mindset, thinking that they'll lose the female. But whether she stays or not, man, you shouldn't lose your dignity just to have some peace leave, man. Know what I mean? Um, man, it's a dirty game, man. But some of us playing this dirty game, and it's just unfortunate that um, everything turned out the way it is now, man. It's a grimy game out here, man. You know what I mean? And
Let
and
me
I'm
ask
big
you a
on staying
question,
sucker free. Yeah, go ahead.
if I may. What is your experience with women in the United States, and if you've traveled, what is your experience with women? Foreign women or women from other cultures.
Um, I used to live in Central America. I lived out there for about 2 years, so I have a good grasp on, foreign women. I've been to Puerto Rico, been to Dominican Republic, been to Haiti. Like, I've been around, so I have a good grasp on different cultures and how traditional some of the women are in some of these different countries. Some of them go by, the old school patriotic style type joint, know what I mean? Which I could appreciate. Females in the United States, um, you know, I bumped into a few bad apples, man, but not all of them's bad, you know what I mean? But I got a little bit of charisma, you know what I mean? Kind of street a little bit, and like they can tell I'm a different product, you know what I mean? So I might not have a problem, conversing with women, but a lot of these young heads out here, man, they're not conditioned to do the cold approach or able to, converse with a stranger that's a female, know what I mean?
Hmm.
And I'm just from a different era, man. Like, I'm from an era where we didn't have the Instagrams, the Facebooks, and none of that. Like, if you ain't talk to a female, you not asking nothing. You heard?
Right. Yeah, we come from the same cloth. It's like we had to cold approach. We had to walk up to a woman and charm her, and be able to get her to enjoy and feel comfortable with who we are. Where nowadays you can just sit down behind the screen and just lie all day. So women have become more like kind of, they're more protective of who they don't even really what it what I feel like Instagram has done is they've excuse me, they've allowed Instagram has allowed for wealthy men who have status to really have a lot of options. So I seen it from both sides. I was a football player, so I've always been an athlete. I've never really had a problem getting women. I was always very outgoing, speaking to women. I'm one of 18. I have 18 brothers and sisters. All my brothers and sisters, we all, like my brothers specifically, all my brothers are very masculine. All of my sisters are very submissive women from the household. And I come from a polygamous family. All my brothers get buns. I get buns. It's like a normal thing for us, like you're not gonna catch me hanging out with guys like I'm hanging out with women. So it's just like it's natural for me. I don't know how natural it is for other guys. Some people, they don't really have like as you stated, they don't have the ability to just approach a woman and talk to her and correct, give her that charisma that is necessary to really make a woman fall in love or want to be with a man. And it's sad that men nowadays do not have that skill. And women have become real masculine. So imagine trying to approach a woman and she's really standoffish. And personally, I've gotten to the point where I really don't approach women in the United States like that anymore. I feel like when you walk up to these women, it's kind of like you're getting either a cold shoulder or they think they're better than you. Like, I'm getting that vibe. So it's kind of weird. And I'm we're good here. So it's strange to see you got to be literally like, if I got to drop money on them, and I'm not a simp like that, so I don't do those things. You understand? It's just strange.
Yeah, a lot of times, You got suckers, because I call that sucker shit. You got a lot of suckers that they leave with their money and all that, and
Mm-hmm.
they try to woo the chick with the bread. But you know, anytime a chick that finesse a nigga out his bread like that, physically and mentally, she's not attracted to the individual. So she wants to be compensated for her time dealing with a sucker, and that's what happens a lot of times. A lot of these suckers out here, they come out with their bread that got bread. They get finessed by these chicks. They come holler at dudes like me and you. That's down to earth, because we ain't gonna we ain't gonna lose our dignity just for some peace leaves, man. Know what I mean, I'm a man of principle, man. You know what I mean, if you don't follow my core principles, I ain't gonna rock with you. You know what I mean? And just it is what it
There's no
is. You know what I mean?
compromise there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good to see that you're like that. There's so many men that are just so feminine. You are someone that I can tell grew up, you know what's up. The 80s, 90s, that era, men were different. I grew up where we used to call dudes who would stand funny, act weird. We call them you know what I'm saying? It's just how we would communicate. We made sure that if some dude was kind of soft, we moved away from him, or we toughened him up if he was going to be around. And nowadays it's not like that. So I think that because a lot of guys, they're in single parent households, they're kind of feminine and soft, and I hear women say that they want like more masculine men. The thing is, the men that are masculine, they get intimidated by those men. They get frustrated with those men because all the other women tend to kind of gravitate towards us as masculine men. So it's like, you got to pick your poison. You want a soft simp dude that's gonna just walk all over him. They're out there and they're by the dozen. But you want a real man, you're gonna have to accept what comes with that. And with me, I don't compromise. I don't lie to women. I tell them straight up, this is how it is. I'm not gonna sit there and try to, I'm gonna be with one girl. Nah, I'm not that guy. I'm polygamous. I got multiple women. I'm not gonna, I'm just not gonna sit there and placate. I'm not gonna be with, I don't even want to talk to you really. I'm focused on work, and we'll talk when I have time. And that's just kind of how I grew up that way, you know.
Word up. And I mean, I could dig that. You know what I mean? I don't really uh, do the polygamous lifestyle to that
Mm-hmm.
extent, but because right now, I'm in the process of with my walk with the Most High, I'm trying to, you know what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
straighten my walk and live a righteous lifestyle. Know what I mean? So I'm switching it up now. Know what I mean?
Much
And
respect to you, but
yeah, know what I mean? And
inshallah.
yo, my next question, right,
Mm-hmm.
for you is like, yo, what advice would you give to the youth to stay sucker free? Because when it comes to women on unconditional love, I think it's just a fallacy. Talk to me.
Okay, that's a great question. Um, my advice to the youth would be this: very simple. Find a mentor. Find a man who lives the kind of life that you want to live and follows principle and principles that you want to abide by. Create a list of principles that are uncompromising. Create a schedule. Stick to your schedule. Stay focused. If you're gonna say you're gonna do something, do it. Your word is your bond, and stay focused on your purpose. If you focus on women, what tends to happen is your energy is going to be swayed, and you're gonna be taken. Women are magnetic, so they're gonna attract you towards their reality. If you're a stern leader and you're a man, which you should be a leader in your own bubble, maybe not amongst other men. You may not be the alpha man amongst other men, but you should always be the alpha man amongst all women. So what I would say to men and the youth specifically is to focus on themselves, learn to speak to women, and do not placate how you feel. Do not stay around If you don't feel you need to stay, do not be disrespected. Check the women if they say something that is disrespectful, if they're wearing clothes you don't like, if they're acting a certain way, they're going out at night doing whatever. You don't have to sit there and accept that. And yeah, it's going to suck because they're going to eventually, women are going to fight back. They're going to have to, they're going to have to correspond with men in general. They're going to have to correspond how men behave. So men are going to change the way that they are. Women are going to start trying to, change the way that they behave. It's kind of like the drizzle movement. Stick to your drizzle movement and don't allow for that to fade. If women do not change, you keep it moving. At the end of the day, women want children. Somebody's going to have to compromise, and it should never be the man. Know the value that you hold. You're the one who carries the seed. You're the bringer. You bring forth life. Women don't bring forth life. You bring forth life. You give life to women. So you have to hold yourself accountable. You have to hold yourself with some integrity and some respect. Focus. Do not, by any means necessary, engage in paying OnlyFans models and watching porn. Get away from those things by any means. I understand it may be difficult for some men. If you haven't gotten some, in a while, by all means, find a way, speak to a woman, get yourself in a position where, women are attracted to you so that you can get some. Learn the game, read books. Like that's really, it's simple. Be a man. That's really my advice, brother. I'm not really a red pill guy,
No, but that's some good advice, though, man.
yeah, my whole perspective on life is a bit different. Like I'm really shrewd when it comes to relationships and and just, communicating with women. I'm very to the point. I don't like to play I don't like to play games with women because I feel that they control and use men, and I've seen it. I've seen it a lot in my life. I've seen women destroy men, and because of my experiences seeing men fall, I've learned from others. I'm not somebody that I got to take the hit to learn. I've seen men take hits, and I've also taken some hits, early on when I was 16, 17, 18. And when you learn from the nature of women and you start really tapping into who they are internally and what they really, are about, it's real simple for the guys who don't know. This is what women care about. They care about security, provision, and protection. And at some point, may not be when they're 18, 19, 20, to 24, but at some point they want children. So women are going to leverage their sexuality to get what they want. They know this. They bank on you not knowing this. There are certain women who are out of your league. Women who are at 5-star hotels all the time. Women who are being flown out. You see them in Barbados, and then you see them in Spain, and then you see them wherever. Like, these women are prostituting. Stop thinking that these women are special unicorn. They're great. They're not. These women are literally prostituting to get there. Believe me, I know. I deal with women like this all the time. It's not like this is who they are, and you just got to accept it. Stop thinking that just because a woman gives you a little bit of attention that you got to start, throwing yourself at her. Is not that serious. Be a man,
Yo, I'm glad you brought that up. That's definitely a red flag. A female that travels a lot,
Mm-hmm.
that is definitely a red flag. That means she's getting passed around. Matter of
Absolutely.
fact, I don't advise nobody to wife up a chick that's been traveling like that. Know what I mean? Especially if her compensation doesn't match up with the trips. Nah, you shouldn't do that. Matter of fact, I want to get your opinion on this. My opinion, I don't think a dude should wife up a chick that like did some changes to their body, like getting a BBL.
Mm-hmm.
I have my personal reasons why you shouldn't do that. I want to get your opinion on that. Talk to me, man.
Brother, I think that's a very wise assessment of what not to wife up. A lot of dudes, like I said, you know, these women who make modifications to their body are doing it for attention. They're not doing it for themselves. Like, no one, you know, inflicts pain on themselves just because. Like, these women know, if my beauty is my agency, if I can enhance my agency, I'm going to get more attention, which means more suitors, which means I'll be able to get a higher status man. That's literally what women think. It's not no sugarcoating. There's no debate. Go in real life and go out and see where you see women who have the most BBLs. You don't see them in churches. You see them at the restaurants where, you know, a lot of guys, and this is another thing, man, a lot of men are not really exposed because they're regular Joes. They don't go to these 5-star places. I'm telling you, as a man who frequents these places, these BBL models, these girls who have the perfect body, these women are there, and what they're there for is their trophies that are just on the table waiting for some doctor, some lawyer, some simp to come and pluck at them so that they can turn, oh, hi, how you doing? And then they can just start a conversation and get money from them. That's what they do. They monkey branch from the lawyer to the doctor to the street guy to the guy who's selling drugs to the guy. This is what these women are doing, right? They live their life doing this, and they get money because maybe for you, not you personally, but for the audience, maybe for them, you know, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 may be a lot to give a woman a month. There are men who give $2,000, $3,000 just one night to have sex with these women because it ain't tricking if you got it. You understand? So you just gotta you know, just kind of look at it that way. And yeah, man, like they're enhancing their body specifically to attract a mate. So if you want your girl to be a girl who's looking for attention, she can't turn back on that decision. So when she's 30, 35, 40, 45 years old with a BBL and is looking kind of sloppy, she's still going to kind of wish she got the attention and kind of still want the attention. But since she's not getting it, she's going to settle in her nature and in her spirit. She's just going to know, like, oh man, like, I don't look the same. I'm going to accept it. I get it. And she's going to ride like that. Those women tend to be cool aunts, but they're never with a man, you know, because men already know. Used box.
Word up. And another thing, another red flag I want to mention, like if a chick got an Instagram or definitely Snapchat, you can't wife up, man. You already know what time it is. Because when it comes to Instagram, she looking for the highest bidder, and when it comes to Snapchat, yo, she got the slinky link on standby at all time. You heard? So simple.
That's a fact. Listen, man, I dated a well-known Instagram model back in the day. I don't even want to plug her in like that, but everybody knows who she is. And we dated for a while. She lives out in California. And literally what I noticed about specifically Snapchat, what I noticed is that these women are making money off of it. They monetize everything that they do. So they know their body sells. And you may hit her up and she just may straight ask you, oh, you want to talk to me? Send me $100. And they'll communicate with you. They may not even communicate with you. And you just sent them $100 and you're one of 10 dudes that did that. You get what I'm saying? And these guys really, like, I've seen her inboxes where men will literally just send her $500, $1,000 for no reason, just because they lust after her to the extent they feel that in order to impress her or get her time, they'll just send money, and that's going to cause her to acknowledge them. And honestly, it doesn't. All it does is have her see you, see your name, give you a little attention because she feels bad for you, and then have sex with me. It's like, come on, man. It's not smart.
Yo, that's crazy, man. You know, simping it's a sickness, man. Simping is cancer to our society, man. And you know, a lot of these dudes gotta stop doing this sucker shit, man. You know what I mean? Stop giving these women bread like that, man. They not yo, listen, man, for chick digging you, man, she'll do whatever you want. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? You ain't gotta take it to no 5-star restaurant. She'll chill with you at a picnic, my nigga. If she rocking with you. If she's not rocking with you, she ain't gonna do it, man. That's
This
the clear sign she don't rock with you.
I'm
That
I'm gonna
mean.
give like, this is my opinion. These are what I think clear signs of, stay away from this woman. If a woman is old and she doesn't have a man, like if she's past 24, 25 and she doesn't have a man, there's something wrong. Because her primary agency is her physical appearance, her beauty, which usually, not all women, but usually between, you know, 16 to 24, that's when they look their best. I would even say like really 19 to 24 is when they are like, for men, adult men, like 30-year-olds, that's when they're most desirable. So what I would say to men who are looking to find, a good woman, a wifey, pay attention to women between the ages of 18 to, let's say, 23. And if those women have morals, principles, they're not out on the street, they're not going crazy on Instagram, they're not showing their body off. If I don't even care if it's one picture that shows cleavage, yo, you know what she's doing. That may not be the woman for you. You want a woman who has morals, who feels embarrassed by showing off her body. Usually these women have both parents in the household. If a woman has just her mom, you got to really do some analyzing to see, how does she conduct herself. If the mom is professional and she's a professional woman, a lot of times professional women try to teach their daughters to be professional and have class and dignity. Churchgoers, women that go to church, they also have class, dignity a lot of times. Not always. You have to really vet. So another thing that I would say to guys is if you see a woman when she's 18, 19, 20, they're young, they're moldable. You want to get a woman, if you're in your 30s, you have a stable job, don't worry about trying to get a girl who's in her 30s. Forget those women. Don't go after those women. Forget those women. They are past their prime. If they're 30 years old, don't waste your time. You want a woman if you are ready. Don't be one of these guys that is just going around breaking women's hearts. You don't want to be that guy. If you're ready for a relationship, find you an 18, 19, 20-year-old, mold her to be the right woman for you. Get to know her mother. See what kind of woman she is. If she has her father in her life, that's like an absolute plus. Get to know the family. Take your time. Don't try to have sex with that girl. Go have sex with the 25, 26, 27, 28-year-olds. Those women been giving it up for years. Go with those women to get buns, but treat this other girl with some dignity and respect so that she could be your wifey in the long run. Because that's what you want, a woman that's going to be your wifey in the long run. All these other girls, and really, if like me, I don't lie to women. So if I'm gonna smash a girl, don't ask me, because I'm gonna tell you the truth. Yeah, I smashed. So if you're gonna lie to a girl, don't. But if you need buns, you tell your girl, or if you're not gonna tell your girl, kind of try to be honorable about your lifestyle. And if you need buns, go get your buns on the side quietly if you have to. If you're man enough to tell your girl what you're doing, you let her know what you're doing. If she should be able to accept it because you're a leader. She got no choice to accept it. You're the best thing she's ever seen. And that's kind of how it go. So those are kind of like that's what I would tell guys. Like, if you're looking for a woman, like a real good woman, you're aiming for the 30-year-olds, the 25-year-olds. Like, yo, don't. Please, just keep it moving.
Yo, you mentioned something in your podcast which I thought was really interesting. On how a female is a male's property, and you could use some of the literature from the scriptures and present it to
Oh, in the courtroom.
the courtroom. Yeah,
Right, right.
and it's funny you said that because literally, right, from what. from what I've been studying and reading or whatever, um, one, it's not good to take a female's virginity unless you're gonna marry her. You know what I mean? They say a curse will fall upon you if you don't marry her. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
That that's one of my beliefs or whatever. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's.
And
Mhm.
you know, like a dude is not supposed to wife up a chick that doesn't have a hymen, because if you do, in reality, you're committing adultery. You know what I mean? Because you
She's a
still
concubine.
belong, yeah,
If a
to the
woman
first
doesn't have a
dude.
hymen, she's already and she's not with her husband. So let me just clarify so that we are on the same page, right?
Yeah.
If a woman has a hymen, which means she's a virgin, she's not married. As this is biblically speaking, this is throughout history for thousands of years. This is the way men have viewed the situation. Doesn't matter if you're part of the Abrahamic religions. For those that don't know, the Abrahamic religions, that is Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. If you're part in those religions, if you're into Brahmanism, Brahma is part of the Abrahamic history. I'm not going to get into that really, but is part of the Abrahamic religions. If you're into any of these religions, the major religions, if a woman has her hymen, she's a virgin. If she has sex, that means that she's now considered married. What people tend to think is that marriage comes from, getting a certificate from the state. That is not marriage. And you don't only get certificates from the state. You can do common law marriages and get a certificate from your church. So to think that marriage only comes through the state is completely wrong. So when a woman and a man engage in consummation, when they have sex, when they consummate, the woman becomes married to the man, and technically the woman's estate transfers title over to the man. So her last name gets transferred over and overtaken by the man. So his last name, his title goes and gets placed on the woman. Now she belongs to him. That's his property. She should get bonded and registered into his estate, and that's how traditionally how it should be. That's how the nobility class has been able to stay in power, because this is how they do it. All right, so I'm not talking crazy. There's a lot of legality behind it, but that's essentially the proper way of marriage. Now, if a woman has sex with a man, leaves that guy, and has sex with another guy, then she becomes what is known as a concubine. A concubine is a woman who she's for the streets. If you want to take a concubine in, you can, and there are many good women who are concubines. A lot of women become widowed, husband dies or whatever, and you could go about it that way. But legally, I mean lawfully, because there's a distinction between legally and lawfully. Lawfully, if you get into the ecclesiastical laws, once a woman has sex with a man, she's his property. If another man has sex with that woman, she's committing adultery. If another man wants to marry that woman, that man would have, and she's not a virgin, that man would have to write a letter to her husband, the man who took her virginity, and ask him to give up his settlement, it's like a settlement certificate. So he has to give you like a settlement certificate or a transfer of title so that you can have that woman, and basically just an acknowledgement. It could even be in the form of a writ that he no longer is married to that woman. That's like the real true way to do it. That's how they did it back in the day.
I think we're so far gone. I think that's the only way to lock something down that's official. You know what I mean? She
Hmm.
gotta have a hymen in order for her to get a diamond. You heard?
Yeah,
Um,
that's it.
word out.
That's
Now
it.
my next question for you is like, where does your majestic style of fashion stem from? Like,
My style.
yeah.
Yeah, cool, man. I appreciate that. Thank you for using the word majestic, man. Um, yeah, so I'm Native American. Um, my full appellation is Ramari El Bay Ma'ara Ali Yeshua El. That's my full title. I just say Ramari El Bay. Um, but I'm Native American. I come from Native American roots. I'm Arawak, part of the Arawak tribe. For those that don't know, those are like Tainos, Quisqueyanos, and you know, uh, Sambos. Like we're those Indians out there. So I come from the Americas. My ancestors, we always wore these garbs, something similar. Obviously I don't have my full like gear on because we no longer rock that. However, we have ties to the Moroccan Empire, to the Moorish Empire. I know a lot of people don't know a lot about history. A lot of people think that the Moors, like they get into all this other crazy talk, but it's real simple. Native Americans, we weren't like walking around with spears. Like we actually had civilization. So I was fortunate enough to have my family's estate in order. My dad's dad, like we just have the history, so I know exactly how we dressed. The tradition was passed down to me. My father specifically didn't wear this kind of garb. I've been the one in my family that decided to just keep the tradition going. But basically my family was part of the nobility class, and this is kind of how we wore things. Now I specifically wear only black because my mom passed away, and as a form of tribute to my mother, I no longer wear colored stuff. Maybe here and there I may put something on, but I tend to just wear black. I picked that up from my mom. When her mom passed away, my mom only wore black ever since then, and I've done the same since my mom passed away. So.
Word, that's dope that you hold on to your tradition like that. Do you speak the Arawak language, the Taino Indian language?
Well, no, unfortunately, I don't. I wish I did. My mom never taught me. My grandmother, well, actually, my grandmother never really taught me. My mom didn't know that much. My grandmother didn't teach me. My great grandmother, who was like, she spoke it well. She passed away before I was born, so I never really got the teaching. But I do have a strong desire to stay connected to the culture to the best of my ability. It's real loss. I think there's somebody now. There's like two people that are actually really doing the research. These are two scholars that are in the Dominican Republic. That's I'm Native American from the Dominican Republic. They're native to America because the Dominican Republic is an island that belongs to America. So we're actually true Native Americans, right? The Tainos or whatever. But there's a guy that's out there that is compiling the language once again. So hopefully, when his works are completed, we'll have actual lexicon that we can bring back.
Yo, I know. And the Dominicans, like some of their words, they use within their vernacular and their
Hmm.
language. Some of them derive from Taino language. Know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Mangu is a
Word,
word
word.
that, for example, that's how you know Osama. That's how you know. Um, so we're also, this is another thing. We're also originally we were like Hebrew people, so we spoke. We spoke.
Yo, hold on. So you understand that your bloodline derives from the 144,000 of the tre. Well, it doesn't derive from the 144,000, but you're considered the elect. You
Yes,
believe that,
if
right?
I mean in that doctrine, yeah, we
Word.
my, like, for example, I have a, well, I had, unfortunately, I don't have it anymore. I had a letter that was from my great grandfather who wrote to his second wife. He was, polygamous, our culture. So this is my great grandfather. So this letter may have been maybe 200 years old or whatever it was. And he wrote this letter in Paleo Hebrew. And we're Native Americans. We never been anywhere else. This guy was on the island his whole life. So it's just like, it was one of the languages that he spoke. That us as a people, we spoke other languages also. More notably, we spoke um, Aramaic, and we also spoke some of the, the Creole, the or not Creole, pardon me, Quisqueyano, like the native language that specific, because like you could be from one tribe and speak a specific kind of dialect, and then like go 3 miles down and another tribe spoke a little different. So we use Hebrew pretty much for like the, like for everyone would speak that kind of, and it just died out, through colonization or whatever. But basically that was, yeah, we are the, elect, whatever it is. Yeah, definitely not those Ashkenazis that come from damn Russia and Poland.
Right,
And
right, right. The guy that massacred the group of small hats or whatever.
hmm
I call him, I don't want to say, you know what I mean?
we know what's up.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He himself informed them that they weren't the true they
Hebrew
weren't the
people.
true Hebrew people, you know what I mean? And
hmm
I think he wrote it in a letter. It's like in his book too, or something like that. Like not in
Mein
his book,
Kampf, yeah.
but like there is tangible documentation that was written what the words of the dude that bodied the small hats. You know what I mean? Food for
So
thought.
in if you get 1852 Webster Merriam-Webster dictionary, it gives you the original etymological meaning of the word American. And the etymology of the word American, the first definition is the original copper toned people from the continent of America. No, it says the various original copper tone people from the continent of America, which is us. A lot of times, when you get into the history, people are blinded by color. They don't see exactly what's really who's who and who's from where. I can tell you for a fact you're 100% Native American. You probably have absolutely no roots in Africa, but if you take a DNA test that comes from a company that the owner of that company is probably a small hat, they will tell you that you come from Africa. However, if you take samples of the earth and if you go to cemeteries or if you go to mounds, you'll probably have a lot of genetic markers to link you to the land here, opposed to going to ancestry.com and getting your markers from there. Another thing also is that for the most part, if you look at, let's say, people like the Haitian community, like Haitians tend to come from Africa. Like they are actually Nigerians, they're actually African people that are in the that are on that were brought over as indentured servants, not slaves. So, and through colonization, they've just been, kind of treated a certain way, and they haven't been able to adapt and learn from the land that they're on at the moment because they're not originally from the land. So to learn how to cultivate that land and without giving proper guidance from the natives is kind of like it's I mean, look at their condition on top of being colonized by Europeans and treated, mistreated. So there's a lot of history there, but for the most part, like we're all the same people. There's multiple tones. Like for example, Mexican people, right? Mexican people are part of the Chia people. We are also known as the Chia people. Chia meaning XI. The Native American X, like, those people come from Asia. So if you look at Mexicans, their actual patrilineal lineage comes from Asia. And when you think of Asians right now, where we currently are in society, people think of like, the fair skinned Asians that are there. However, there were indigenous Asians that were from that land that were black people. You understand? So yeah, it's a lot to unpack there, but
Yeah, yeah, that's definitely a lot to unpack with that, man. I didn't want to, make this about a history type joint, but it
right,
just
right. My
we just
bad. I
stumbled
just
upon that. I mean, word, word.
yeah.
My bad, man. My next question is yo, when it comes to religion, man, like what do you subscribe to, man?
Okay. Well, what I would tell people is that I'm henotheistic, which means that I recognize that there are many gods, and I recognize also that there is a supreme deity, uh, in a monotheistic kind of way. However, there are multiple gods. So I'm a student of scripture. I study the the Quran. I study the Bible, and I also study Mesopotamia, ancient civilizational kind of texts, sacred texts. I find it to be fascinating how little people know about religion. I love the study of religion. It's one of my. It's like what I love to do is to really study the history of it. So yeah. So my belief system is my ancient my people's ancient religion, which was we didn't really subscribe to a religion. We were henotheistic. We were more scholarly. We were scholars. I study and I read. I don't subscribe to like Judaism or any specific. However, if I had to subscribe to a doctrine, then I would say that I would subscribe to the original Judaism that was around. The original Jews practiced they were henotheistic, which means that they recognized multiple gods, but they worshipped one of those multiple gods, and that God would be Allah, right? Or El, however you wanna call him.
Right, you're talking about the supreme God over Elohim, because the word Elohim means more than one God.
Right.
I don't subscribe to that, but I'm aware of that. And I mean,
Mm-mm-mm.
I ain't a scholar like you, but like I do some reading too. Know what I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
and yeah,
Knowledge
yeah,
is power.
yeah, yeah. It's the more you know, the more you know the history of religion, you have a better grasp on how to move in this dark world. Know what I mean, because it's a
Right.
cold world, man. I mean, a lot of wolves is covered in sheep clothing out here. You heard?
What
I'm
what
gonna
I
tell you
what
what a
I
wise
think.
one told me. You
Yeah,
can't turn a wolf into a house pet. You heard?
that's a fact. That's a fact,
Word
brother.
down.
One of the
Now,
things that I find most fascinating, and what I would subscribe to with regards to religion, are the laws of religious order. I think the order of religion is incredibly important to define boundaries in your life so that you can be guided by some sort of moral compass. And religion provides that. It provided that for me and my mother, and my father, and my the rest of my family. So I've always been someone who I will go to a temple and I will pray. I will bow down and worship, kiss the ground. I will also get on my knees and pray like the Catholics and the Christians do. I will also stand and pray, like and or put my palil on like the Jews, and I will pray. I have no bones about just worship in general. I don't mind it. What I won't do is sacrifice no chickens or do none of I consider life to
yeah,
be valuable, so I'm
yeah,
not gonna
yeah.
do
That's
no
tapping
satanic
into the
shit. But
mystic arts. Yeah,
you know,
that's the mystic arts you're talking about right there. You know what I mean?
you know about the archons and the fallen angels and all that.
Right, right, right. Well, yeah, yeah, I know about that. You're basically expounding on the the watches.
The
You got the
Watchers, the
leader of
Book of
the
Enoch.
watches.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Which his name is Simyaza, and another dude named
Shamael. Shamael is
him
the devil. Yeah,
and Azazel, because Azazel was
Azazel.
the
Yep.
dude. He was the one that was getting niggas hip to the game on how to create metal and kill other
Yeah.
mankind. Know what I mean? And also he got women hip to the game on how to create makeup in order to seduce suckers back then. Know what I
Yes.
mean? So
Yes.
yeah, a lot of these dollars that we received, man, we didn't get it on our own. We got it from different beings or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Government might call them aliens. Yo, we call them the fallen ones. Know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Brother, I'm really impressed that you know that. Very impressed that you know that. Yeah.
Where I mean, it's not something we could have. Like not everybody's into stuff like that, so I
Right.
kind of keep it to raps and myself or whatever. Know what I mean?
Right.
But
Much respect
I
for you,
ain't
brother, because you need to have a certain spirit to come across that information.
word. That's a fact. That's a fact. My next question is right. What are your thoughts on dudes playing cleanup, man? Like, what advice would you give to a young man on dealing with a female that already got multiple kids? Should he involve himself with that? My perspective, he shouldn't do that. He got to
Right.
stay sucker free and keep it moving. But I want to
Right.
get your opinion and give out the advice you want to give out.
Okay. Cool. Thank you. Um. So I am of your ideology. I think that for the most part, you know, in you should stay away from women with children. It's very dangerous to be involved with a woman with children if she has a toxic relationship with the baby father. However, I will say, um, you know, depending on the kind of man that you are, where you are in life, where she is, the kind of woman that she is in and where she is in life, um, I think that as a man, you can assist a woman who has a child, maybe or may not have made bad decisions in her life, but is a good mother and does want to teach her child, um, you know, to be respectful. I think you should be more willing to be with a woman who has a son than to be with a woman who has a daughter. I think if a woman has a son, you can be more of a leader to that child. I have heard and have seen many examples of stepfathers that are great men, and shout out to those men for stepping up. I would not recommend it on a balance of probability. I think that those men who do try to be stepfathers have much more to lose and often do lose more trying to help those women out. But I would tell men not to do it. Just stay away from those women. And if unless she's an exceptional woman who has met very unfortunate circumstances, vet and see the kind of relationship that woman has with the baby father. If and also look at the baby father to see what kind of man he is, because the kind of man he is will show you the kind of woman that she is. So if you see that guy is not somebody that you can respect, then most likely the woman that she may not be a good woman, or she may have been going through her whole phase when she was dealing with that man. So I'd say just stay away, just to keep it safe.
I totally agree with you on that. And plus, when a dude takes up that kind of mantle, man, like he get full responsibility with no authority. You know what I mean? So
Right.
that I wouldn't even recommend a man to do that. You know what I mean? But the righteous man that takes that mantle up to raise another man's child, he's definitely a saint because he's making the environment a lot better because a lot of criminals, man, they stem from single mother parent home, man. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? You learn that in college too. So, it's just food for thought, man. Stay sucker
What,
free out here, you heard?
what are your thoughts on men who have children? Should they date women who have children, or do you think they should date they have the ability to date single women who don't have no children?
um I mean, th-
Do you think it
I
matters
would
for
I
men or
would
no?
what happened?
Do you think it matters for men?
Um mm, I'm gonna be kind of biased, nah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't think it matters either. I have
Yeah,
multiple mothers, so my dad had multiple women. So
right.
I have multiple moms, and I felt this like similar, not the same love as my like mom, but very similar, very loving. Like my mom, I call her mom to this day. Uh, a woman could nurture like that. Where
Yeah,
if it's in her spirit, in her heart,
it,
she could.
Okay, yeah, it would make sense, for a dude that has a family to link up with a female that has kids too. But you want to avoid that, man, because
Oh,
you gotta, like, if the kids is already grown, like you know what I mean, like
oh no,
it's
no.
just
Well,
gonna be a lot of
just
friction. You know what I mean?
just for clarification, no, yeah, I definitely agree with you. My other mother, in my culture, polygamous. So my dad had multiple women, right?
Right,
So I had multiple women that I called mom, even though I had a biological mom, right?
right,
So I would call her my second mother. She was married to my dad, so it wasn't like my dad, like I was with like she came with a child from another man or whatever. Like my sister is her daughter, so it was just like the dynamic of it was family. It wasn't weird like she came from somewhere else. It's like, yo, that's family, that's my sister, that's my second mom. You know what I mean? It's just a whole different dynamic. But yeah, I would
yeah,
agree with you
oh,
on what you said.
yeah. I mean, yeah, like I said before, it would, like, yeah, it would make sense for them to link up, but nah, like, to be on the safe side, nah, don't ever wife up a chick that already got kids, because one, she not you already know she not loyal. She already
Right,
got multiple kids already, man. So her track record is already set already. So what
right.
you want to do is look for a better candidate, man. To me, that's a red flag. If she already got kids already, man, she's for the streets already, man. I mean,
Mm.
now she was married, had kids, and her husband died. That's
That's
different.
that's
I
different.
mean, yeah, that's different. But
According to
you
the
know,
Bible, she should be married now to her husband's brother.
brother, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And that would be actually the right thing to do.
cool.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the genetic pool has already been merged. So she should keep that going. If she was to have more kids or more children, it would be, the right thing to do would be under her husband, her new husband or whatever.
Word. And I want to mention this too, because you mentioned this on your podcast on how when a female get her club shot out,
Mm,
those
mm-hmm.
remnants of that seed remains in her body. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
So that's another factor why you shouldn't wife up a chick that's already been smashed already, man. You know what I mean?
Man,
Straight up, man.
I've seen things, brother, that I mean, I've literally seen women that were pregnant with another man's child, telling the man that the man that she's pregnant by that's his child, and it's like, whoa, these women are getting you, man. Listen, I tell
Man,
you, it's
listen,
it's
man.
sad.
My friend actually was saying this. But my friend's father's brother, he had a similar situation like that. And fast forward, he had kids with Shorty, right? And it
Hmm.
turns out the last two that he had with her wasn't even his.
I
And he
had I
found
had
out on the 18th year. You know what I'm
right. I
saying?
have
And
similar
the, and
similar
the
stories.
dude and the dude and the dude that knocked up his wife or whatever,
Hmm.
he knows the nigga. Like, they be around each other and all that. And another thing I wanna get your opinion on this too. A chick never cheats on a nigga that you don't know. It's always a nigga that you do know. Food for thought, man.
Oof.
Talk to me, man.
So that's a great, that yeah, for like, I think that in New York City, in New York, that's very prevalent. I think that when you get out of the city, you find out that women will cheat on anybody with anybody. And this is another thing that I think a lot of men don't realize. And I want to be extremely clear about this because I need men to understand this one thing. Women since, and I'm going to say 18, but probably before that, women are having sex and they're having sex with men, right? You will never know. You think that the girl that you're kicking game to, you think she's home every night, relaxing. You think that that woman is an angel. And think about this. It only takes 15 minutes to really clap cheeks and get up out of there. You got to be legit. Sometimes you could do you big dog, you want to be in there for a whole hour. There are men who will come through 15 minutes, throw her 300 and get up out of there. You will never know. So, I want guys to really think about this one thing. No woman that tells you that she's not having sex, that is a lie. She's having sex, just not with you. Don't get it twisted. Don't, there are exceptions. Some women do take 3, 4, 5 months, but there's no woman taking a year off from getting D. She's getting D from someone at some point, and they started when they were like 18. As soon as she lost her virginity, brother, just start thinking. Just start calculating. Every 6 months, new body. Every 6 months, new body. Or if she has a man, then okay, whatever. Women are able to just be with one guy for the most part. So if she has a man, you could just say, all right, she's with that man. If she cheated once, she's going to cheat again. So just start that count. Every 6 months, count a body. And then do her number. You understand? It is what it is.
Yo, why you think most females get offended when we talk about high body count, man? Because high body count is a real thing, man. These chicks ain't innocent out here, man. And like you said, man, you will never know if she getting matter of fact, I want to mention this, right? There's a dude. He went viral online, right? He ended up moving in his crib, in his grandfather's crib with his girl. Don't you know his grandfather was clapping them cheeks, man? Man, your granddaddy will tap that, man. You have no idea, man.
And I guarantee you there's reasons. Like if we were to really look into that story, I guarantee you that the grandfather was the one paying the bills in the house, giving her money on the side. He was taking his little pension money and sliding it over, and he was clapping the cheeks on the low. There was no way she was just like, sexually attracted. We are sexually attracted to women physically. Women, they're not necessarily only attracted to men sexually. Women get turned on slowly through, it's like notches, where we just look at a girl, we know we want to hit or not. Like it's instantaneous.
Right. Well, most females, they yearn for provision.
Right.
Protection and provision, man. And that's what the grandfather provided.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Protection and provision, man. Know what I mean? And
brother, let me say this.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have parked in a motel as an experiment to show a friend of mine. I said, see that room right there? I've been parked here like we went together as an experiment. And I was like, look, let's park right here. Let's look at that door. Watch how many men go in and out of that door. My brother, in 1 hour, no BS. In 1 hour, we counted 12 guys go in and out that one door. One door, 12 dudes in 1 hour smashed this lady. Imagine how many men in a month that woman is smashing. And you will never know that that's what she's doing. If you don't catch her in the act or you don't know, you may think, oh yeah, no, I'm gonna be able to feel if she's loose. Brother, you do not know. You don't know. So
that's why it's because a lot of times chicks that move like that, they go out of town.
Yes.
So
yes.
If you do that's traveling, it's not even good to even politic with a chick that's out of town because you won't be able to track her history. You know what I mean?
I know a girl who lives in Connecticut.
Niggas going, oh yeah. She was like that. You know what I mean? She's definitely for the streets. But when chicks move from town to town like that and they moving in the light like that, you're not gonna know because you can't track her. You can't get the facts on that. You can't get the car facts on that, man.
The car facts on that. You can't get. Listen, I know a girl who, at 18 years old, she lived in Connecticut. She would take a train to New York City to strip at night, then take a train back to Connecticut and go to school. And she was in high school. And what do you think when she didn't go to school? She ended up staying in the city in some guy's house, probably got clapped 20, 30 times before she graduated. And she was making money and this and that. Anytime a girl's making money, man, it's very is as men we know it's not easy to start a business. So you see a girl, she's not she doesn't have business acumen. She doesn't really know much about business. She doesn't know about EIN numbers and how to set a business up. She don't know nothing about what's going on in the business world. She's not even reading the stock market. She doesn't know nothing about nothing. And you see her walking around with Louis V and this, that, and the third. If you think that she's just, trust fund baby, brother, there are not many trust fund babies out here. She's getting money some way, shape, or form. Maybe a few guys here and there. Dudes, I'm telling you, girls live a life where they create a roster. So by the time they're in their 20s, she may have 15 to 20 guys that may send her $100, $200 every other day. So she's making $100, $200, $300 here, there, $400, $500. Plus she's working, doing this. She's bartending at night. At the end of the month, she's making 20 bands, 15 bands, 20 bands. Like she's living in a whole nother world, getting paid by men.
I'm glad you brought that up, brother. Cause it's like, yo, and this is why I'm saying, yo, don't give out them diamonds. He ain't got a hymen. Cause peep game, right? You see how you okay, for example, right? If you wife up a chick that ain't got a hymen, whatever, she used to live a lifestyle you didn't know, she always gonna have that one dude in the chamber. You know what I'm saying? When shit go wrong, she already got the other sucker lined up. Like, you got sucking, well, they call it beta orbiters. You know what I mean? And they on standby and they waiting for your relationship to fail so they could jump in. This is what females have in their phone, man. 20 suckers lined up on standby, man.
On
You know what I mean? Yeah, and a lot of youngins, man, they don't know that, man. They think, you know what I mean?
Women, this is another thing. This is another thing that I want men to know. Women play dumb. Women are just as smart as men are. And their social acuity usually is a little bit above men because they're social at a very early age. So they start picking up on body language and energy a lot quicker than, most men do. So a woman is 100% aware that, oh, that guy wants to have sex with me. Oh, that guy wants to have sex with me. They know what's going on in their environment and they will manipulate and use and act as though they don't know because that's like a defense. They want to act like, oh, they don't know just because they want to keep their options open. They act ditzy like, oh, I didn't know he liked me. You're over here telling your girl, hey, man, don't wear that. And I don't want to see you hanging out with this guy because as a man that he's looking at your girl a certain way. He's lusting after her. You may have heard something or whatever. And men are trying to smash no matter what. So you just want to keep her away from that. You want to protect her from all the wolves that are out there. And if she's combating you with that, brother, you do not tolerate that. Move away from her. She knows exactly what's going on. She is not ignorant. Women are not dumb. They are intelligent. So you don't have to tell a woman more than once.
They're a lot more socially calibrated than dudes. So when they walk in a room, they already know your next move already. You know what I mean?
Right. That's why you bring in, if you want to really shake up a room, go to a room and bring an attractive woman with you and watch how, the room moves and how men act and react. You actually have a higher status when you bring a beautiful woman with you when you go out, to a meeting or with people that or whatever, friends, a business meeting or whatever, because women will be able to sit there and pick up on things that you may not be able to pick up on. And men see that and men like, oh, he got her? Okay, he must be somebody. So,
Yo, that's a fact.
Yes, sir.
Now, my next question would be, yo, you have a strong following. Like, what was the process that you had to go through to build up your following on YouTube?
On YouTube. Well, we're in the process of still building. You know, as you know, we're brand new. We're trying to make our print on the space, uh, and really, it's just grinding, hard work. I can't even say that I do anything but get on camera and talk. Really, our producers, Chris and Yerk, these guys are brilliant. So they really we sit down and we have meetings and we kind of discuss like what's our next move. We kind of try to talk and figure out things that work, things that don't work. We're still in the process of finding our identity online. So what we've been able to do is get some promotions out there, use YouTube promotions to get some views for our channel. We started doing that. That's been very, very helpful. And just staying consistent. Right now we're gonna be putting out more content. We were doing like two podcasts a week, one podcast a week that we would put out. But we would record a few, just so that we can have like some like breathing space in case we decide we just came back from the island. So we have content coming out consistently because we had content stacked up. But now we're gonna be doing content much more. We're gonna be reacting. We're gonna be going on X, on the X platform, and engaging there, and interacting, and kind of shifting and seeing if we can get an audience through that. So any information that I get, brother, any questions that you have with regards to that, feel free to ask, man. I'll give you all the knowledge that I got so far.
Boy, I appreciate that, man. I definitely, man. Thank you so much, man. Um,
Collaborating, I think, is really one of the most important things. What I have found
word,
to
word, and
be,
yeah, go ahead, finish.
yeah, honestly, to be completely honest, man, one of the things that I think is the most important when it comes to growing your channel, from what I've seen so far, I'm going to be testing this theory out with my guys, is really just communicating with people who have more following than you do. If you could just get someone who has more following and just piggyback off of their audience, I think that that's really the way to get more eyes on you and get the attention, because interactions are everything. And some guys who have genuine interactions, like for us, a good friend of ours, great guy, Black Spider guy, advice. If anybody wants, they can check his channel out. This individual, he has a very strong and organic following, and he's been able to help us early on with our following. He's more into the red pill space. We're more leaning towards like Joe Rogan style podcasting, and also we're getting into doing vlogs, but just leaning into those guys, finding people who have more followers than you. I think that that's really the key that I've found so far.
Yo, that's dope. Black Spider Advice, man. Yo, I've been following him for a while. My question, yo, and this that last comment you said made me want to transition in this question. Like, yo, how'd you link up with Mr. Organic and Black Guy
Spider
Spider?
guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
like,
Okay,
how
cool.
y'all
Yeah.
end up linking out? Cause yo,
So I met
that collab
Mr.
was dope.
Huh?
No, y'all collab y'all did the show y'all did.
Yeah.
Yo, it was a dope show, man. Real
Yeah,
dope.
bro. Yo, we have Mr. Organic's gonna be coming down here a few more times, man. So I'm gonna start off with Black Spider guy. So I first linked up with Black Spider guy. I forget exactly who reached out to who first. Um, it may have been me. I may have reached out to him, or I think maybe he reached out. I can't really recall. But we ended up having a meeting to kind of do a podcast. This is like before we really got going, before I met other producers that we have on now. And we just decided to kind of link up. But I was building the studio So as I was building the studio, we would communicate here and there, and then we finally we did a podcast at the other studio where I was working at. I was renting that studio out, and that's how I met that's how I met Black Spider Guy, and we kind of connected through that. And then as we started the podcast and just was had things moving and flowing, I had reached out to Mr. Organic, and he responded right away. And I flew him out here, made sure that he was good, and man, we hit it off. Like he's like a very genuine, incredible person. Very very genuine, very real, honest, good brother, very thorough. My kind of energy, very alpha. The kind of guy that I kind of I was an athlete, so it's like D1 type level, God level mode type dude. So it's kind of like my energy, and we kind of hit it off, and we just we've been building our relationship, and just our content through that. He was scheduled to do one podcast, and he was kind enough to do two, and then he's booked for a few others, so we got more content coming out. I was away, so he was supposed to go with me to DR. However, it was just so much stuff going on, right? So we're gonna be doing something with that too, doing some vlogs. Mr. Organic, he does his vlogs, which are awesome. He taught me a lot, man. Like just being around someone like Mr. Organic, you see how he's doing his vlogs and how he's moving, and he's teaching me at the same time. Giving just being around him is lessons learned. So it's just through just basically through communicating, you get these connections, and because of him I have a pool of people that I can connect with, and also through just interacting. I was gonna have Styles P on the podcast last month, but our speaking, having a meeting with our producers, we decided not to have him on because he's an older crowd kind of guy, and we don't want to be we're not the podcast that interviews artists, like musicians only. We don't want to be seen as that. We don't want to be seen as like the red pill people. Like we are entirely different kind of podcast. Our we want to do things a certain way. So yeah, that's pretty much how I met these guys. I got Brittany Renner. She's gonna be coming on at some point also. But again, it's not one of those things where we want to just only have these kind of people on. We want to have scholars. We want to have some debates. That's kind of our flow.
Well, I mean, you're definitely a knowledgeable brother, man. Like, people could learn a lot from you, man. And I would like to see more content from you, like on a, quote unquote, Joe Rogan type style type joint. You know what I
Right.
mean? I think it'd be
Right.
dope, man. Yeah. You
Yeah, we've
know what
been
I
bringing
mean?
in a lot of models and having conversations with models. We just have the connection. I have a lot of connections with models and things like that. So just been bringing in friends and models and this, that, and the third. But yeah, my goal is to bring in scholars. I'd love to have you on into the studio, man. You come through, and we chop
Well,
it up. You're in
you
New
in
York.
Jersey, right?
Yeah.
You in
Oh yeah. I'm in Jersey. I'm in Edgewater, New Jersey.
where I'm in Jersey too. Matter of fact, yo, you born and raised in Edgewater or?
No, I was raised in Clifton, New Jersey.
Oh,
Come
that's
from
not too
Clifton,
far
New
from
Jersey.
Patterson, man. Not too
Patterson,
far from
yeah. So
Patterson.
East
Yeah.
Side, we whoop East Side butt. We got that championship. 2008, 2007 championship. Running back
Yeah,
on deck.
I'm not from. I'm not. Hold on, I'm not from Patterson, but you know what I mean. Due to my occupation, I be out there a lot. I
Okay,
mean,
okay, yeah, yeah. I
word,
throw shade at Patterson all the time, man, because I'm from Clifton, so they think
word.
Clifton is
You
like
talking
all
about East
soft,
Side
but
High,
nah,
right? You
huh?
talking about the high school, East Side High?
Yeah, East Side, yeah, East Side. So
Word.
Patterson has two high schools. It has Kennedy and East Side, and it also has
Okay,
Patterson Catholic.
right.
So yeah, but I love Patterson, New Jersey, man. Like the at least when I played football, Patterson was a rival of ours, and I respect all the Patterson guys. I would go to Paterson, New Jersey to just get into fights with the guys, but it was always, at the end of the day, it was respect. They knew me. I was the captain of the football team in Clifton. So I would just go out there. They all knew what it was. I knew the coaches. I trained with their running back Kumar. So we was just like, competition, and I would go there and talk smack and joke around with them and all that. So like I have love for Paterson, New Jersey for sure.
Well, me too, man. I got a lot of love for Patterson, man. Patterson, stand up, you hear?
Yeah, man, for sure. Yo, shout out to Paterson, New Jersey.
Word, man. That's all I got, fam. So, yo, any final thoughts for the people, man?
Yeah, man, absolutely. I think something that I would like to share with people, is to be thankful. I'm very thankful for you. I appreciate you. This is a very humbling experience. This is our first time doing this kind of interview, so I thank you for that. Um, I think this was a great interview. I look forward to rewatching it and seeing how our performance was and how we did. I look to hear back from my guys, your audience, my audience. Hopefully they enjoyed the conversation. A lot of times, man, I'm always the one asking questions, so it's kind of like good to finally be able to communicate, and show a little bit of who I am and kind of how my thought process. A lot of times, I'm just the one interviewing people, and they like I don't get that interview. I'm not the interviewee. I'm usually the interviewer. So I thank you for the opportunity to come on your platform and communicate and talk to you, man. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it.
Word. I appreciate you, brother, for coming through, man. This interview's officially over. It's your boy Rush signing out with Full Notice Podcast.
Yeah.
Seek wisdom, practice humility, and always remain sucker free. You heard? I'm out. One.
Peace, brother. Thank you so much, brother.
Thank you.
Peace. We'll stay in
Peace.
touch.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yes, sir. Yo, Yerk, we could sign off.